Hello guys, how are you doing? I hope you're all alright. I'm going to show you how to make a ultra quick sweeper using a little bit of AI script writing and some music, like royalty free music off of YouTube. I've already dragged the audio in. I'll show you how I did that. So you go over to your YouTube. It's going to be slightly different for everybody depending on what interface you've got. So this is the music I found. I just typed in royalty-free dance music. The interface I'm using is a Focusrite. I believe it's Scarlett. Let me check. It is a Scarlett. A Scarlett 1820. So yeah, it's with this particular interface and with Logic, you select a track, you come over to the inputs, and you select input 9 and 10, and that creates a loop back. So once you've created that, you then need to mute your stereo track. I'm not going to do that now, otherwise you're not going to hear what I'm saying. If you don't mute, you get a horrible feedback. You then go across to your track, you hit play.
Searching for music
Then
for your
some
next video?
adverts come up, obviously.
Then you need to check out Artlist.
The music will start playing. You hit mute. As you can see, sorry, a bit of feedback. As you can see, it's brought the track in. Once you finish doing that, you need to come back over to the input and then select no input. Otherwise, you're going to get all kinds of feedback come because we're doing a loop. You can, I believe you can do this on if not every, almost every interface. Every interface should have some kind of loop back facility. You just need to find out how you do it. So now we brought that piece of audio in, which sounds like. So that's how you quickly bring in audio. I don't need that because we've already done it and it's right here. So this is the track that we're working with. I didn't bring in the whole track, I just brought in a little bit, and I also skipped it towards the end, so I had the outro. Don't know if we'll need that, but it's always nice to have the outro just so you can tuck that on the end. So I'm going to chop this up to start with. If we come over to, we hold down Control and we click, we right click, we select the scissor tool. We hold down Option and we click, and that has split it up somewhat. We're going to zoom in and we're going to do a few more of those. So now it's into some sections for us. We can do the same down this side also. I don't know how much of this we're going to use. Holding down Option and clicking, and it's splitting that up for us into a few bits and pieces. We can always split it some more if we want, but that's a good place to start. Obviously, one step I did miss is that you need to find the tempo of the track. Otherwise, it's going to be split all over the place. To find the tempo, once you've dragged your track in, you click here on the Edit tab, you click Smart Tempo, you set it playing, and it finds the tempo for you, and then it all sets up the tempo at the top here. You need to have it set to adapt. So that's all done. And now we're all in oh my god, we're all in beat, and we're ready to start chopping this up and creating something. So I can right click, I go split at playhead, and we've got another little split there. What I'm going to do is drag these down to here to create our new track. This is what we're going to work with. I think we can delete that. Let's see how this comes in. And if we drag it out a little bit. And bring that up. Okay, I'm going to just split that there. I'm just having a little listen to see where I can bring that in, because I don't think I want all of this. Let's see how that goes. It needs to obviously flow. That's the one. Okay, so I think that's a good place to start our voiceover. So we're now going to come to, I'm going to set that one to record right there. And we're going to come over to our AI that I found, Vondi.com. And all I did was I typed in radio jingle chart music and it came up with this. So let's put something else. I'll start it with radio jingle, if I can spell it. Then we can put, so top 40 music. We could put pop and then generate. It appears to be creating some kind of song, but all you need to do is just go and have a little look through, see what you can find. I mean, that's quite good. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Top 40, pop radio, your favourite sound. You don't want it too rhymey and music-y, but for me, this gave me a good head start, because coming up with ideas is just, yeah, I can't. I'm going to start with that, from the latest hits to the songs you know. So I've got a little controller in front of me where I can hit the record button. Otherwise, you need to exit this, hit record, and then go back like this. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Not too bad. I don't know if I want the whole thing. Let's have a listen. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Yeah, that's actually not too bad. So on there this is all of the plugins that I'm using for the voiceover. I'm using exactly the same ones for this as well. I won't go too far, but I'll show you. I've got the Neutron, which is my noise gate. I've then got a EQ, not doing too much there. A compressor, doing a little bit. Then I've got the vintage EQ, which is just basically boosting the highs at 14 kilohertz. Come on. Another compressor there, giving it a little tickle. A multi-presser, just doing a little bit of something there. Yeah. I've got the exciter, and then I've got the de-esser. So this is a template. I have this set up for every time I do a voiceover. I don't change it. Also, there is a a sidechain compressor right here doing a little bit. So when I've got all that sorted out, I literally just hit the Control B. We'll call that voice 1. And that has applied all of our effects onto this region here. We can get rid of this one. Oh. We can add more effects if we wish. So at the moment, from the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. I think right now we will head back to our AI and see what else we can add in there. I like to keep it quite generic. I think the top 40 pop radio I see there almost sounds like the station's name. So I could just say your number one favourite station with your favourite sound. Your number one favourite station with your number one favourite sound. Right, we'll bring that back over. No, we won't. We will bounce that. Control B. We'll call that voice 2. Got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station with your number one favourite sound. And then we'll wrap it up right here. So we're going to figure out how we're going to do that. We'll get rid of all of this. We might need this end. We're going to split that. We'll take away all of this. I don't think we're going to need that. That might be useful. We're going to bring this in anyway. So I've dragged this down to another track so that we can kind of beat match that in there. Yeah, so that's in the wrong note. So maybe I can just transpose it up. On the left hand, there's this transpose. I believe that's right. Control B and bounce that. I can get rid of that original piece and then I would just bring that up into there. It just applies the effects to the region. Favorite sound. So yeah, that's sorted out, so I don't think I'm going to need that. Okay, that's not too bad. Right, now we need to add a little bit of spice. Have to have a bit of spice. But let's see where to put it. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. I think we're going to put something in here. Let the good times you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. So we're going to do something between here and here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get an EQ I think EQ is going to be the one that I want to use. I've got to think how the sweep goes. Times Flow, your number one favourite station with your number one. Times Flow. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. It'll be something like that, I think. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one. I think we're going to do something like that. So I'll get my little thingy ready right there at 100. You now come over to the track right here. You go to read. We're going to set it to right. It'll give us a little message there. No worries about him. So we now hit play. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. Now that should have recorded the data. So now we go back to read. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite. So that has automated that on there for us. We can, if we want to fine tune it, we can come over to the automation page. We can look at the frequency there, which we swept. So we can literally just fine tune these if we want, but I think we're pretty good as we are. You can put them in by hand. You don't need to do what I just did there, but I find I get more feeling if I sweep it than try and edit it in. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one. You could also add a little phaser on the top or something. Let's see what we've got. Modulation. Let's try a flanger. As you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Let's try that for now, but what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our automation page. We're going to select main. We're going to select flanger, bypass. We just click it, and then this orange line appears at the bottom. This is where we want to set our automation. Times flow. So we double click the line. And we double click it here because this is where we want it on and off between these. So we bring it up like that. We'll bring it up like this. Okay, like this then. So the blue highlighted part there is the bit that is going to work. Energy, let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station with your. So if I bring the flanger up here, you'll be able to see the little dot there light up. Energy, let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. But we can play around with the flanger. Now we've got the spot where it should be. Energy, let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. Energy, let the good times flow. Your number one. Maybe a bit less of it. Energy, let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. I think that's quite good. And I think a little crash symbol or something just to bring it back in again. Normally just come into complete. This is it's external software. It's Native Instruments is what I always use for all my stuff, all my sounds. I'm just going to go find drums. Where are we at? There they are. Crash symbol. That'll do. Just right click that, it's there. Drag it in. Because I've got the adapt set, let me put it back into keep at 124 because it's trying to adapt when I bring the symbol in, which is fine. Now we're good. Oh, your number one. Why are you not going on point? Come on. Sometimes you need to zoom Logic in to get it to hit the right spot. Your number one favourite. Cool, volume down, and then I'm just going to get the EQ. I'm going to cut out the low end. Your number one favourite station. It's just a little, your number one favourite, little something just to finish that off. And then we should be able to put some effects on these vocals, I think. Let's have a little listen-y. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one. I think right there. We've got the energy. I'll split that. We've got the energy. Let the good times flow. And we're gonna split that also. Thank you. That's 2 extra audios I brought in, audio tracks. So I'm going to put one there, I'm going to put one there. At this point, they've all got the same effects on them. You know, we've got the energy. I think if I cut out the lows there. You know, we've got the energy. You know, we've got the energy. And then I'm going to put on, this is Native Instruments Supercharger. It's got a nice saturation tool on it, which adds some good distortion. You know, we've got the energy. We can add a bit of compression. I don't know if we need to. We'll listen. You know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. And then we can come down to this guy. We'll do similar. Would have made sense to actually have processed both of them at the same time, then split them and done a bounce, but this is fine. Now let's get what do you call it? A modulation tool of some sort. We'll try a phaser. You know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. That wasn't too bad actually. Let's see if we can try a bit more on the mix. You know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station. No, maybe it didn't need that. You know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number one favourite station with your number one favourite sound. I think I feel another bit of voiceover coming. Just a whisper. Let's try that. We'll go in. Favourite station with your number one favourite sound. Number one favourite sound. That might be decent. I'm going to need to up the gain on that though, because obviously it's a whisper. Favourite station with your number one favourite sound. Number one favourite sound. Cool. And then we control bounce that guy. We'll call it whisper. Remember, I bounce it to apply all of the effects to the region. We're going to just we're going to just solo that for a moment while I attempt to tidy it up. I want to get rid of all of the breaths at the beginning. Number one. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. Number one favourite sound. That's it. And then EQ is the most important part of a whisper, removing all of the lows. Number one favourite sound. Number one favourite sound. Boost the high maybe. We don't want to introduce any sibilants, of course. Number one favourite sound. Right, let's see. Sound. Number one favourite station with your number one favourite sound. Yeah, we can actually bring that down. It didn't really do it any favours. Number one favourite station with your number one favourite sound. Let's try putting the supercharge on there as well for some saturation. Number 1 favourite station with your number 1 favourite sound. Favourite sound. Too much compression, that would be fine. Maybe some kind of filter. No, we'll go back with the flanger again. Number 1 favourite station. Sound. Favourite sound. Number 1 favourite station. Favourite sound. Reduce the mix on that a bit, that's a bit much. Sound. Favourite sound. Sound. Favourite sound. I think that was okay. Let's get rid of all that. I don't need that anymore. Let's see then. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number 1 favourite station with your number 1 favourite sound. Favourite sound. There you go. That will do the trick, I reckon. And don't forget to check your limiting at the end. I do have a limiter on there for the purpose of the video so that everything is loud and fat in your face. There isn't any gain actually on here at the moment, but you can play with that. I mean, as I'm chatting rubbish to you, it's peaking, well, it's doing gain reduction at 2.5. You can wind it up a little bit and then you could get into some dangers, but we can have a listen while it's wound up. From the latest hits to the songs you know. Well, you can see as soon as the vocals come in, it just, bang, brings it. Too much gain reduction, then it sounds a bit wanky. So I'll play it once more for you, and then we are all done, and I'm out of here until next time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. From the latest hits to the songs you know, we've got the energy. Let the good times flow. Your number 1 favourite station with your number 1 favourite sound.